Hello, dear student. Yesterday I told you about the electrochemistry, some important terms. Now I continue that lesson, and the next term is conductance. Conductance of a conductor is the measure of its each flow of current through a conductor. It is denoted by G, and conductance of a conductor is inversely proportional to the resistance of a conductor. Means if resistance of a conductor will low, conductance will be high. So conductance G is the measure of the ease in the flow of current of a conductor. It is denoted by G. G equal to 1 upon R. And the unit of conductance is inverse of ohm. Now the next important term is conductivity. Conductivity is the reciprocal of resistivity. That is specific resistance. Resistivity, yesterday I told you resistivity, it is denoted by rho. And so conductivity denoted by kappa K. And kappa K is inverse of resistivity rho. So kappa K equals to 1 upon rho, and as you know that rho equal to R A upon L. So kappa equal to क्या हो जाएगा? Kappa equal to 1 upon R A upon L. So this is equal to 1 upon R into L upon A. So kappa equal to 1 upon R into L upon A. So kappa equal to 1 upon R into L upon A. 1 upon R is reciprocal of resistance, and L upon A is known as cell constant. So it can also be written as 1 upon R into cell constant. Cell constant, and cell constant is denoted by G naught, and 1 upon R is conductance. So kappa K equal to 1 upon R equal to G, that is conductance, and cell constant is known as G star. So this is the conductivity kappa. So the conductivity of a conductor, either you can use the formula kappa K G into G star, or kappa equal to 1 upon R into L upon A. The unit of kappa, we derive the unit from the formula. Kappa K equal to 1 upon R into L upon A. 1 upon R means per ohm. L upon A is cell constant, that is denoted by per centimeter, because centimeter upon centimeter is called equal to per centimeter. So kappa equal to per ohm into per centimeter. It is equal to Simon per centimeter. So this is the unit of kappa, conductivity. Now next is molar conductivity. It is very important term in electrochemistry. Molar conductivity denoted by lambda m. M for molarity, and this is lambda. So it is denoted by lambda m. It is defined as the conductivity of a solution prepared by dissolving 1 mole of conducting substance, 1 mole of electrolyte in solution. So the total number, what is the, again I will repeat, the molar conductivity is the total conducting power of all the ions produced when 1 mole of electrolyte dissolved in a solution. So it is the conducting power of 1 mole of ions of an electrolyte. Conducting power of 1 mole of ions of an electrolyte, and molar conductivity lambda m equal to kappa upon molar concentration C. C is molar concentration. convert it into, so kappa into 1000 upon C, then we take the unit mole per liter. If you take this unit mole per liter, then you multiply it by 1000. So molar conductivity lambda n equal to kappa into 1000 upon concentration in term of molarity. Now unit of molar conductivity. The unit of kappa is Simon per centimeter. Unit of kappa is Simon per centimeter into the, this is 1000 centimeter cube per liter, so it is can be written as centimeter cube upon mole per liter, centimeter cube per liter, 1000 centimeter cube per liter, and it is mole per liter. So from this we can get the value Simon centimeter square per mole. Simon centimeter square per mole. This is the unit of molar conductivity. Simon centimeter square per mole. It can also be taken as in SI unit. SI unit. Simon meter square per mole. So either Simon centimeter square per mole or Simon meter square per mole. Now this is molar conductivity. So the next, how we determine molar conductivity? So these are some important terms. Now we discuss determine the molar conductivity of an electrolyte. Determination of molar conductivity lambda n. Molar conductivity lambda n can be determined by using a principle of Wheatstone-Bridge. How we can determine molar conductivity? By using the principle of Wheatstone-Bridge. Wheatstone-Bridge, as you know, according to Wheatstone-Bridge principle, there are four resistors R1, R2, R3 and R4 are connected in a specific manner with a galvanometer. Now I am drawing the diagram of Wheatstone-Bridge principle. This is R1, this is R2, this is R3, this is R4, and both are connected by galvanometer G. Connected by galvanometer G. So now, if we see the R1, R2 resistance, R1 is variable resistance. R1 is variable resistance. R2 is unknown resistance. are known resistance. R3 and R4 R3 and R4 are known resistance. Now we adjust the variable resistance R1 with the help of rheostat in such a manner that this galvanometer show null point. Means null point is a position of Wheatstone wheel that there is no current flow in this circuit. So this is called null point. So we adjust the resistance R1 with the help of rheostat so that there is G indicates the null point, and R2 is a known resistance. This resistance R2 is considered connected through we connect the R1 through conductivity cell. Conductivity cell. Conductivity cell means the cell whose molar conductivity is to be measured. This conductivity cell is connected with these two terminals. This conductivity cell is designed especially in such a way that their cross section area should be 1 centimeter square and the length of the electrolytic conductor is approximately 1 centimeter. So these conductivity cells are designed especially. So this conductivity cell is connected to this terminal. So if we arrange this Wheatstone wheel, then by applying formula R1 upon R2 equal to R3 upon R4. R1 upon R2 equal to R3 upon R4. So because this R2 is unknown resistance, so R2 equal to R1 R4 upon R3. R1 R4 upon R3. So if because here R1 R3 known resistance, R1 we can undertake the value from rheostat. So by this way we can calculate the resistance of conductivity cell R2. After calculating the resistance of conductivity cell, now we calculate the conductance G. Because G. So now after calculating the conductance G by taking the inverse of resistance, because we calculate the resistance from Wheatstone wheel, now we calculate the conductivity. Conductivity kappa equal to G into cell constant. Just now I tell you the conductivity equal to G into G star, and G star is the cell constant. So now after calculating the conductivity by this value, because cell constant, whatever the conductivity cell we use, that conductivity cell has its constant value that we put here, and we calculate the conductivity kappa. And from conductivity kappa we can calculate the molar conductivity. Kappa is 1000 upon C, molar concentration. What is the concentration we have taken in the conductivity cell? That we put value here. So we calculate the molar conductivity of any conductivity cell or any electrolytic solution. Now the next is the very important thing, variation of molar conductivity with concentration. Variation of conductivity and molar conductivity with concentration. Variation of conductivity and molar conductivity solution. For this, we have to take this into consideration. The conductivity of the solution is due to number of ions. So as we decrease the concentration, conductivity decreases. But molar conductivity, if we decrease concentration, concentration, molar conductivity increases. So both have inverse relation. Conductivity is directly proportional to the concentration, and molar conductivity inversely related with the concentration. Now, molar conductivity, because for both strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte, for strong electrolyte and both weak electrolyte, as we decrease concentration, or you can say as we increase dilution, means as you add more and more water, molar conductivity increases. This we can understand by a graph. You see this graph on y-axis, this is y-axis, this is x-axis. Over the y-axis we are taking molar conductivity. Over the x-axis we take concentration root, and the unit of concentration root mole per liter, and the unit of molar conductivity Simon centimeter square per mole. Simon centimeter square per mole is the unit of molar conductivity, and the unit of concentration mole per liter. Now, for strong electrolyte, because you know the strong electrolyte dissociate almost completely, so they have maximum value of molar conductivity. For example, we take KCl or NaCl, anything. The molar conductivity increases on dilution, because here is zero concentration and here concentration increases. Concentration increases this side. So at this point concentration will be zero. At zero concentration, if concentration zero, then we cannot have a solution with zero concentration. So theoretically we are taking here zero concentration, because as the concentration decreases, molar conductivity of KCl increases. Molar conductivity increases. So because the graph is a straight line, so if we do the extra plotting, this extra plotting give the value of maximum molar conductivity of the strong electrolyte at zero concentration, and this is denoted by limiting molar conductivity. So what is limiting molar conductivity? Limiting molar conductivity denoted by molar conductivity at zero concentration. Limiting molar conductivity at zero concentration. So this has maximum value and it is a constant value. Correct? So how will we define a limiting molar conductivity? Limiting molar conductivity of a electrolytic solution at zero concentration, it is the maximum value which it attains. So and it is a constant value. Now you see the limiting molar variation of limiting molar conductivity of strong electrolyte increases on dilution. Why it is increases on dilution? Because when we dilute the solution, so mobility of ions increases. Number of ions of strong, in case of strong electrolyte, almost similar, because strong electrolyte dissociate almost completely at any concentration. Dissociate almost completely at all concentration. So if we decrease concentration, number of ions remains same, but on decreasing concentration, interionic interaction or interionic attraction decreases. On dilution, interionic interaction decreases, so mobility of ions increases, and mobility of ions increases, so molar conductivity increases. That's why on dilution, molar conductivity of strong electrolyte increases. Now we consider the case of weak electrolyte. This is the graph for weak electrolyte, acetic acid. That will be acetic acid. In case of acetic acid, you can see the molar conductivity of acetic acid also increases on dilution. Now, and after certain dilution, after a minimum concentration, the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte rise sharply, steep rise you can see, and the graph become parallel to the y-axis. And this parallel graph shows that this limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolyte cannot be obtained by extra plotting. Correct? We cannot obtain the extra because the graph become parallel. So, in this case, now first I explain you why molar conductivity of weak electrolyte increases on dilution. Here, for weak electrolyte, as we increase the dilution, molar conductivity increases because on dilution, degree of dissociation increases. On dilution, degree of dissociation, you know the degree of dissociation alpha. Alpha value increases. When degree of dissociation increases, the number of ions decreases. And number of ions increases, so the molar conductivity also increases. But now question is this, why it is not sharp rise in case of strong electrolyte? Because in case of strong electrolyte, degree of dissociation does not increase. Only just mobility increases on dilution. That's why there is a small growth, a small increase in case of strong electrolyte. But in case of weak electrolyte, it increases very sharply because on dilution, degree of dissociation increases sharply. So, number of ions increases sharply. That's why the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte increases steeply or sharply. Now, as you know that this graph of weak electrolyte cannot be touched this y-axis even on extra plotting. So, it means for limiting the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte we cannot obtain. How we can obtain limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte? This we can obtain by Corrach law. Corrach law I will explain you in the next topic. Now, for today, this is my second lecture in case of electrochemistry. So, thank you children. Now, do the practice for this.